I want let me just do this. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry about your dad.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a struggle. We're getting through it. It's been
Yeah.
recording anyways. Hey, I'm just starting the recording, everybody, and Jane Curth's gonna be our guest today. I was gonna say during the recording, but I'll say it now during the pre-production because I cut these, the intro in.
Yeah.
Jane's my first guest since my dad passed, and so you know, who better? Maybe Debbie Heiser, perhaps.
Oh,
Uh, but it's just one of the progressions. And the thing is, Jane, is he went right. He was I don't know if you know Roger Landry, Dr. Roger Landry. I mean,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, so Roger wrote that, he's been on my show before. And
Uh-huh.
I would encourage anybody that's watching this right now, the intro video, to get his Live Long Die Short book, because that is exactly how my dad lived. My dad, he went in for this last couple of years. He had a couple, few things happening. He had a cardiac, issue, but he managed it. It's like all of these
Yeah.
doctors that we talk about all the time. It's like managing your wellness and your well-being. And so the last night we were with him when we drove back from Wisconsin that Sunday night, and we had a really good time, and he was elevated because they had him on those blood pressure increasers, but those are very, very, they'll tear you up. I mean, they
Yeah.
knew they were just doing that just so we could get there. So, we had a great visit, and then he passed the next day. And so it was like, and I was sitting right next to him, and
Well,
played him some music. And my sister had stepped out because she had been pulling like yeoman's duty, and my brother was there too.
yeah.
Sandy and I had just came back down to Detroit, and Sandy suggested, hey, play him some of his music. So I played him some Frank Sinatra, and I swear to God, 15 minutes later, he was gone. So,
Oh,
yeah. So, hey, what we're going to
mm,
talk about today, I was going to kind of I was thinking about using my dad as part of it, but I don't know if I can handle it.
yeah.
So, um,
Right. You do
so,
what works.
well, in getting caught up, and I appreciate you coming back in here, quick notice, because last Friday was kind of messed up. But because we had Jane scheduled everybody for last week, and then of course we had last week. So but then going through my notes, that Justin Grinnell, the owner of State of Fitness, my buddy, was my previous guest. So that kind of gives us a jumping off point for you, because he owns that. It's a very niche, very boutique kind of fitness center here. It's small, but it's very, very cool. It's the trends. And so whatever trends you want to talk about, I've just got the title as healthier fitness, because I think
Yeah.
he had some interesting, I'm going to throw these, I'm not going to spoil it right now, but he had some interesting observations about box gyms, and they have their place. And
Mhm.
then you have all of these other ones that are starting to grow and prosper. So that's where I wanted to go with this. And you see the trending. So I'm just kind of like in a trending phase, and we can just talk about,
Well,
whatever.
and that's interesting that you mentioned that because I got an email today and I was able to download a document on a study on the current trends in boutique fitness.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And
good. See,
yeah,
crazy how
yeah,
this works. Yeah. And I
very
got
interesting.
another student that I may be sending down to you, maybe to connect with a senior at Michigan State, who's
Oh, great.
very, very smart. She's actually a computer science kid. So it's like,
Yeah.
she's just, I could see it happening for this girl that, she gets the right people around her. I introduced her to Justin. She may go intern with him at that gym, because that's a
Okay.
way different. The boutique stuff is where, if you want to be a serious trainer, that's where you want to go, because you're not going to work in a Planet Fitness, or you're not going to work in a Crunch. It's just not going to happen, because it's not part of their whole package. So that's kind of where I wanted to Planet and Crunch. And
Yeah.
we're the only two big box gyms. And Justin had a really good take on that, Jane. It was like, oh, this is really interesting. The way he put it out there. It's basically, you're renting the equipment. You're not, you get nothing else. It's just equipment, and if you would need it to get started, you want to get low budget kind of thing. Great. But eventually you're going to, if you progress as you should, then you're going to need to, get with some more people who can really help you if you want to take it to that next level. Because I just think, personally for me, it's always a process. It's always like ongoing. It's never changing.
Yeah.
And then if you want to talk about how you're feeling with your injury,
Yeah.
we got to get caught up on that because that was the last show. So maybe we'll do that
Yeah.
after we do the This Is Your Life in the first segment with you and Chris and the kids and all that stuff like we usually do.
Okay.
All right. So let's get rocking here. I need you for an
Sounds
hour.
good to me. Sounds good.
It's funny how we are on the same page with, the boutique stuff, because I find that to be extremely fascinating. And
Yes.
if you can afford it, I'm of the opinion that sometimes you can't not afford it. I mean, you have to find
Right.
other places to make up the month. If it's costing you $200 a month, but you're getting like premier service and you're getting premier facilities and you're getting results. We're burning up our material. This is all good stuff. We'll just go with this.
Yeah. Great stuff.
All right. Let me get your folder. It's a little disorganized yet. All right. Here we go. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode. Last week, Justin Grinnell was here, and the owner of State of Fitness, the founder of State of Fitness, and talking about his new facility and how the fitness industry is evolving and growing. And there's so many more people that are getting involved with the fitness industry. And then there was Jane Curth back, and for her 7th visit to have her come in, Healthier Fitness, we're going to call this one. We're going to kind of piggyback on what I talked to Justin about, everybody, because you need to understand the differences between all of these. I don't know how you want to say it. You want to say it's a model. If you want to say it's platforms, whatever. I mean, all of these different, you have the big box gyms. We're going to talk about all this stuff, from the big box gyms to the boutique, very specialized. We're going to go through that whole gamut and get caught up with Jane. She is the CEO of FitFixNow. Professor Jane Curth has taught college for over 20 years. She is one of this is a great friend. We're going to see her probably next winter sometime when we go down to our trip. Yeah, we're going to come by and see you. And Chris, you have presented, this bio, Jane says 18 local and national conferences, probably more than that now. And you're an ACE, American Council of Exercise certified trainer. You've done many, many things. The best thing about Jane, she's an educator for her life, retired professor, kinesiology and health and all that kind of stuff, lives down in Atlanta. But the best thing about Jane is her little dance thing that she did with whatever the hell the thing was called,
the Silver Classics crew.
The Silver Classic. But I read farther down, I just start laughing when I hear that. It's nothing. She knows it's not offending it. I think it's totally awesome that she did this. She was, in addition to, I'm just going to read this from the bio.
Yes.
Consultant for the Silver Sneakers and former member of the over 50 hip hop Atlanta dance group Silver Classics Crew. She's performed with the Silver Classics Crew at several Atlanta Hawks games. So, hey, we're talking the real charity events, television shows, and festivals. That's how I think of Jane and Chris. Jane, what's happening, my friend? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, Tom, and I hope you are too. Last time we talked, I was still kind of in the throes of recovering from my patella fracture. I fractured my kneecap
and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. So I'm doing much better now.
That's excellent.
Recovery has been very good, but I've been very careful.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me.
That's all right. Take a drink here, because I'm gonna kind of lead into this thing. So we catch everybody up. If you haven't heard Jane before, she's been on the show, like I said, 6 other times. The last time she was here with us, everybody, Jane had suffered a very severe injury. And being a really fit person, this kind of stuff, I could say other words, but this is broadcast radio, so I can't say my my kind of language that I use sometimes, especially when I'm doing the TikTok stuff. But hey, stuff happens. And so
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that you're going to, so we'll talk about that. But before we go into that
Okay.
whole thing, let's get caught up, talk about Chris and the fam and the kids and the grandkids and all that house. What's the lowdown?
Well, we are just moving and grooving. You know, we have 3 grandchildren. The one that's turning 9 lives in Atlanta, and so we spend more time with him because the other 2 live in New Orleans, which is sad because we don't see them as much, but spent a week with them in the mountains in June. And so Chris and I have been traveling a good bit. I was supposed to go to New York City a year ago to visit my son and daughter-in-law when I
And
fell and
yeah.
fractured my patella. So we had not been back to New York to visit my son and daughter-in-law. We're able to go.
Oh, what do you go?
Well, we went the end of May.
Oh, okay. Okay. Did you
Had
see
a
Debbie?
great trip. I did see Debbie. Yes,
We got to talk about all that. Well, Debbie
we
Heiser's
got to talk about it.
okay. So we'll talk
Yes,
about this stuff, but Chris and the family's doing good and you're getting all caught up.
yes,
You're obviously feeling better. You never looked like you were a little bit despondent in the last episode because of your injury and the mental
yes.
part of it. And you guys, if you want to go
Right.
back and fix that, that's a really good episode. If you've gone through an injury or you have somebody in your family that is going through that has gone through or is injured currently, go listen to that because Jane went, we did a deep dive on the mental health side of things. I'm all about the mental health side of things. That's where Debbie Heiser comes in, who we're going to talk about right now, because she's like our rock star psychologist for the program. So how was that? You two must have had a blast.
We had a blast. And what we ended up doing was we actually, if people don't know, Debbie Heiser founded the Mentor Project that you and I both have been involved with. And Debbie's just a wonderful person. She and I actually met for a quick lunch. And then we went and visited 2 of our younger mentors that have a startup in the Navy Yard, in the Brooklyn Navy Yard, in a place called New Lab. And they're Georgia Tech graduates, which my middle son got his PhD at Georgia Tech. And so we went and visited Rich and Roland, and we just had the best time. Debbie's just so much.
Oh, she's right. What was the startup? What do they do? What is the business involved? What are they doing?
They're doing supply chain and very innovative. These are 2 young men that are twins from Nigeria. And they are just incredible entrepreneurs and the nicest guys you'll ever meet. They gave us this huge tour. We saw all kind of innovative things. I saw one company that you look at a screen and within 20 seconds, it gives you body temperature, pulse, oxygen level, and blood pressure just by looking at a screen.
Wow.
Amazing.
The technology and the young people. That's why I love connecting with young people continually all the time.
Yes.
Just mentioned to Jane, another one that I'm going to probably turn her on to. Anya is the girl's name and young woman's name, and she's pretty awesome. I'm going to turn her on to Justin Grinnell, which is, where we're piggybacking off of Justin's visit last episode, everybody. And we're going to talk to Jane about this progression of where the fitness industry has been, where it's going, where we're headed, because it's with all this technology, Jane, it's crazy. And I mean, let me tell you what we can talk about, my dad's demise that I wasn't going to bring up, but I'm going to tell you, my dad was a very physically active guy. I mean, he lived a great life. And so, upon his passing, and I look at what he did and what he has done and some of the holes in his life, and a lot of it revolved around his nutrition. And that's just his generation. And so now we have come, so it gives me comfort to look at his longevity, and he still ate like crap, and he still had, but it was like boom and boom. And it was sudden, but when you're in your mid 80s, that's not too bad. So we have come along. right? I mean, that's not bad. And so I
Mhm.
take that as a consolation, but I look at it and I look at through my trainer, talk show author eyes. And I think in my brain, yeah, you know what? I can definitely make 100 like I've been talking about for the last 15 years on radio. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, just got to, and just keep your fingers crossed. I mean,
Yeah.
heck, the storm that's coming to mid-Michigan today, who in the hell knows? I mean, all right, let me reset this thing, everybody, because up to break here. Jane Curth is here with us, seventh visit, calling it Healthier Fitness. She's the CEO, founder of FitFixNow. It's a company that certifies personal trainers, and I have done classes through Jane several last research, like 2 or 3 of the last research I've done for NASM is through FitFixNow. Great courses, very, very reasonable. And, you know, we try to help, but that's the thing about the evolution of the fitness industry, everybody. So that's where we're going to be going with this, talking about boutique fitness, talking about big box gyms, talking about what Jane's seeing, because she's right on the cutting edge of all of this stuff. And we'll take it from there. I think it's very, very, very informative. Stick around. Jane is a huge wealth of knowledge when it comes to this type of topic. You're listening to the Tom Ed Show. I am aforementioned, and Jane Curth is our guest. We'll be right back. All right, cool.
Very cool.
Read time, and then I will. All right, cool. I watch some of this stuff, you know, Jane, when I'm watching between the scenes. I
Yeah.
had to edit out a between scenes from one of my previous shows just recently because some things some things were said, and it's kind of cool to see it, and it's kind of like, so I gotta warn everybody. It's like, hey, it's not on radio. If you got something that, you know, might be a little controversial, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, all right.
I know. I try to avoid the controversial stuff at all costs.
You just never know with this stuff anymore. Here we go. It's
No.
just crazy. You know, I don't need the headaches. Not that I'm afraid to take people on, but it's like, you know, is it worth it? Does it
I
help
know.
what we're trying to do?
Yeah.
If it helps what we're trying to do, it's like I tell students. I told a student yesterday at the gym at Michigan State, because he's talking, you know, he's trying to get some advice on relationships and stuff. And I said, listen, my opinion is that person, do you see that person helping you get to the point you want to go? Because if that doesn't line up correctly, then you got to start, you know, really checking yourself, because you could be missing out. You could be wasting a bunch of time, because he's concerned about, you know, wasting time and, you know, why
Right.
all that kind of stuff. So here we go. All right. The segment sponsored by Ameriprise Financial, your Ameriprise financial advisor, our Ameriprise financial advisors, Craig Stiles. Craig's the bomb. He can help you plan for the future, do the thing, get it set up. And again, full disclosure, we have all of our retirement zone, because we are in the retirement zone, everybody. All of our retirement zone savings with Craig and Ameriprise. And we're really glad that we do, because I got other things to do. I don't want to have to deal with this. With the right financial advisor, life will be brilliant. Give Craig a call. A couple numbers here. Here's an 800 number for you, everybody. 1-800-528-1355. 517. Here's a local number, 517-483-4853. Craig.stiles@ampf.com is his email. His offices are located 2400 Lake Lansing Road. Suite B is in brilliant, or B-ism, Lansing, Michigan. Remember, Craig started Decideri Analytics. That's his proprietary algorithm. That's what pushes him over the top. Created it long before algorithm was a catchy, you know, newbie term. And it was just one of those fashionable things. No, he actually did it because he's got an engineering degree and he's a MBA. So he's a super smart guy. That's what Decideri is all about. And that's why you want to go there with Decideri Analytics. And we appreciate Craig helping us with that, because it just takes all the guesswork out of your financial planning. If you're going to have a great retirement zone and you're going to live in the RFC, you got to have somebody helping you with your financial situation. All right. Radio stations, WJHN 92.1 FM in Grand Haven, WJM 1240 AM in Lansing, WJRW 1340 in Grand Rapids. Carried us for a long time. WKLQ 1490 Muskegon Whitehall. The Michigan Talk Network is a very interesting, it's a very interesting syndication network. And so we're on a lot of stations that I'm not even aware of, and I'm just glad to be there. And so if you hear my voice and you want to get a hold of me, let me know that you heard me in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Great. Lastly, our PBS affiliate, WKAR AM 870 102.3 FM in East Lansing at Michigan State University. And lastly, I want to plug the Michigan Talk Network one last time and say thank you to Steve and Ivy Gruber, the owners of the network, for having the faith in us. All right, Jane Curth is with us. Healthier Fitness, piggybacking off of the episode I did with Justin Grinnell last week, who is the owner of State of Fitness here in mid-Michigan. Jane, let's start at the beginning here, because you've had FitFixNow for a while. Give everybody just a thumbnail of what FitFixNow is, how you're qualified for this stuff. Some of the listeners and fans of the show know who you are, but we have a lot of new listeners, a lot of new people on the podcast. Please go ahead, take a couple of seconds to do that, and then we'll what qualifies you to be the FitFixNow lady?
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I like being the FitFixNow lady.
I'll let you have that one. How's that?
Thank you. I like that. FitFixNow is an online platform for continuing education for fitness professionals, personal trainers, group fitness instructors, and for fitness enthusiasts. We like to share knowledge with people who just want to know more about fitness so they can do a better job at living a healthier life. So I actually started it in retirement, and I just saw there was a pain point in the industry that it was pretty costly to get continuing education. And it was a huge pain point to let it lapse and have to retake the exam. So, I created it, but I went into depth while I was still teaching face-to-face in online education. The college was training us and how to do quality online education. So I took that education model, and put it with my love and knowledge of fitness, and created FitFixNow. And that, we first launched in 2017, and we've been growing every year. We even grew some during 2020 when COVID was at its height, and trainers didn't have a whole lot of work. So that's just kind of in a nutshell what we do.
Yeah, it's a very good nutshell. Thank you, Jane. So the trends in the fitness industry, as I was talking to Justin about this, because he's got a very niche, unique situation in his new facility. He went from I don't remember what he said. It was like maybe 15,000 square foot facility, pretty large, kind of a box gym, to a very much smaller, but much more intimate application setup, and it's much more focused on the individuals. It is definitely more costly. So let's start at the beginning, because we'll get towards where Justin Grinnell and all of that. But let's start with the box gyms and Jane, your feelings with the industry in general, because we went from in the early 70s when I first started Nautilus coming out. Things have evolved tremendous, and they continue to grow. So please talk about, the kind of the evolution of the box gyms and where that is at. And then we can continue on with this conversation. I'm going to find this to be very, very interesting. Go ahead, please.
Well, I hope I have enough knowledge about the box gyms, but I've been in fitness forever and have seen them be created and grow. I've always had a heart for the YMCA, because I felt like the YMCA had so many wonderful programs, and they tended to be less costly initially. Initially, you signed those long contracts with big box gyms, and you were kind of stuck for a really long time. Most people would quit using them, but they'd still have to keep paying. And so I always, if I had a student that asked about joining a gym, I would usually tell them to go to the Y, because the Y even had scholarships that they might help a student that was struggling financially. So uh, that's how I kind of saw it start. But now I've seen that evolve to more of a flexible, hopefully easier to cancel if you're not going to the gym. You know, you get excited and you sign up, and then all of a sudden you're busy with life and whatever, and you stop. So through that, I've seen, a lot of boutique, even some boutique franchises. For example, I'll tell you, I have been going to, I'm still in physical therapy, but there's a private pay physical therapy studio within 2 miles of where I live, and they have some small group classes. So I started back taking a Pilates class taught by a physical therapist. So that was great. Then I wrote a review, won a prize for a month at Club Pilates. And I thought, that's, it's a franchise, but it's boutique. And I don't know. But I've always loved the Pilates reformer because I was a ballet dancer and owned a studio in my early career. So I've started going to Club Pilates and I've really enjoyed it. And
Good.
it's like a 3-month membership. You pay so much for 3 months and then you can renew if you want to. So I've seen that evolution, but I also have a good friend that we are their oh yeah, you want to ask
Okay. No,
something?
no, no, no. I just want to let you know we're going to come to break here. So we're at a good.
Okay.
If you're at a good spot, I'll just stop you there, and we'll come back to
Yeah.
in Club Pilates, because the franchise models is something we need to talk about. And I want to
Yeah.
revisit what Justin said about the box gyms. Again, resetting this thing, everybody. Healthier Fitness with my friend Jane Curth. My name's Tom Matt. It's the Tom Matt Show.
If I'm going too long, Tom, just let me know.
No, no, no. That was fine.
Yeah.
I just, those leading questions and, hold on. And so let me get this here. There we go. No, as long as you can see me, because sometimes
Yeah.
if you're make your notes or whatever, I'm going to go into my read here. Where's my other card at? Oh, right here. Here we go. The simplest way to connect with us, you want to be a guest on the show, you want to be a segment sponsor, you want to check out our, whatever we're doing, you want to buy our books, go to the website, tommattshow.com. That's where everything is. The TikTok thing is a little, it's kind of crazy. Actually, we actually had a video go viral last weekend. And so we have a lot more people following us on TikTok. I've only been on there for like 6 weeks. I mean, wasn't going to do it, but it's kind of a cool platform and it's much more kind of in tune for me. And we're still on YouTube. We're still doing all that. It's just another way for people to find us. So go to the website, tommattshow.com, and just kind of bounce around there, because all of the episodes, the podcasted episodes, the video stuff, the links, the little video boxes are all there. Facebook page is there. Everything is there. We're on, of course, on Instagram and Facebook, not so much on Twitter, although I'm on Threads for a minute anyways. Our mission is to build an engaged society and team. We want to connect with all of you. So whichever social media of the ones that I mentioned, which is all of them, please just drop us a note or go to the website and go to the contact box on the website and just send us a note there, because you know what? The Refinement Zone, everybody been doing, like Justin Grinnell. And when we had, Moneyball Fitness on, when we did that show for all of these Lansing, all these mid-Michigan, all of these areas that are refiring and businesses that are changing and morphing and growing, like Jane's with FitFixNow, because it's always an evolutionary process with all of this. I just call it welcome to the Refinement Zone. So that's what we're all about here with the Refinement Zone: community, collaboration, and cooperation, the 3 C's of telling stories and finding good people and sharing super cool ideas. I mean, that's what we're doing with Jane. Jane, I had to cut you off there on that last that last segment, you were talking about the boutique classes. I want to
Yeah.
jump real quick though and just say really quickly that Justin made it really clear about his definition of a box gym. A box gym, according to a professional like a Justin Grinnell, who had Crunch Fitness right next door to him, which these he was referring to like a Planet Fitness or a Crunch. Those types of franchise big box gyms. Basically, they serve their purpose. I think they're awesome for people who are just getting started, because you're basically, what he said is you're basically renting equipment and that's it. You're not getting any of the extra fluffy stuff. You're not getting good. No offense, anybody. But if you want to get good training, you're probably going to need to go to a more higher end facility, because those types of facilities are going to offer you some very, very basic stuff, if anything at all. So I just want to leave it there. It's basically a rental place. If you want to get started, great. But as you progress, as Jane and I were talking about, pre-production, as you progress and you want to continue to grow in your fitness journey as life goes on, or you're getting older and you need a different type of trainer, that's where you start getting into the boutique stuff. And that's where Jane is our expert on all of this, because she is the CEO and founder of FitFixNow. All right. So I think, was that a good definition, kind of, Jane, to sort of explain?
Yeah, that's what I think. And one thing that kind of struck me as you were describing that, and I may be wrong because I haven't looked at pricing, but I don't think a person would pay a whole lot more for a boutique gym to go and have those quality one-on-one sessions than they pay at a big box gym.
Well, it's all going to be about choice. I mean, it's all
right,
like what you need. And so
right.
do you want the amount? Because some of them, like here in Michigan, there's in Lansing, in East Lansing, actually, the Michigan Athletic Club was the premier spot. It still is very, very nice. It has all the fancy stuff in the locker room. I was a member there for a couple of years, and it's it's a little pricey, but you get all of the fancy stuff, and you get like, it's massive. It's a huge place, and they have very quality training there. So that's kind of another, I would call that a boutique box gym, because it offers the extra amenities, which at those other lower cost, you're kind of getting what you're paying for. Now, if you're paying $10 a month, like my dad did forever, my dad was a member at Planet Fitness, used to talk about it all the time. And hey, you know what, for $10 a month or whatever they charge, something like that, it's a month thing. Great. Served him well. Perfect. If that's what you need, absolutely sweet. So, Jane, that's the thing about the competition. But again, I like to think about the cleanliness.
Yes.
Because if you get people in facilities that are just jumping on a machine, how do they know safety? I'm all about form.
Yeah.
Jane,
yeah.
This is what you teach, right? Let's talk about that.
Yes.
When you don't have trainers helping you with guiding you.
Yeah. Oh, I've sat there working out at a gym, and because with Silver Sneakers, you can pretty much, there are a lot of big box gyms you can go to at no cost if it's included in your Medicare Advantage. I have sat there just biting my tongue and trying to de-stress because I see this horrible form and I see these people trying to lift all this weight and they're throwing their back out, their shoulders aren't down, and I just cringe. I almost cannot do it. So that's a huge frustration of mine because I've watched it, and you get more bang for your buck if you got a good trainer that will watch your form, that will progress you safely as you are supposed to progress.
When you, in your opinion, Jane, now these form issues, especially for growing older adults, but even for the younger adults.
Oh, absolutely.
Form is everything. I mean,
it is everything.
It is
and everything. And that has played out so much more with me since my injury. That's why if I'm going to be in a class, I'm either going to be in a class that, like the Pilates reformer, you're usually laying down most of the time. And Chris says it looks like a big rack like the old torture rack.
I've
But
seen, I never knew what does that thing do? I've never even been on one of those.
it's
I've seen,
amazing. It's
what's it?
amazing. There's a carriage and there's springs, and so you can adjust the resistance that you get. But you go through a whole set of motions. You can add, there's straps for your arms and your legs. You can add so that you get upper body and lower body, but core is the main focus in when you take a reformer class. Now, I'm mainly taking, it's called a mat Pilates class because it's not on the reformer. I'm taking it by a physical therapist because as much as I know about form, I want, and she won't let more than 6 people in the class. I want her looking at my form, because if I can't see it, she has mirrors, but sometimes you can't really see it. I want her telling me, and walking around and checking and adjusting me a little bit. So that to me is the most important thing: safety and form.
Safety and form and safety. And my other thing that I actually did a video today that is on TikTok for having more fun in our lives.
Yeah.
I started the whole video with when I'm in the gym and I'm working with people, which I don't do a lot of one-on-ones anymore. I might do some here and there for friends.
Yeah.
And I get hired occasionally if I have space in my schedule. But the thing that I said on that video, everybody, is like, I want you to have fun. I want you to,
Yeah.
because people, you get a bad, Jane, it's kind of annoying because people will get, oh yeah, it's so hard, and it's just, oh, this and that. And it's like, well, wait a second. No, can't we set something up that you like enjoy? You don't have to torture yourself, right? I mean,
Right.
give me 30 seconds on that one, then we'll go to break.
We have a great course called Intuitive Movement, and it's kind of a newer area, but that you move intuitively. Your body knows what movement it enjoys. My body enjoys classes, small classes, ballet classes, Pilates classes. That's what I enjoy, so I'm going to do it. And so, intuitive movement.
Okay, we'll talk about that when we come back here, because we're going to take break here. And I want to jump right into that because that fits what we're talking about. Jane Curth is here. She is the CEO of FitFixNow, Healthier Fitness, piggybacking off of Justin Grinnell's visit last episode, talking about the fitness industry, where we're going, how you can kind of game all of this. So we'll come back. We'll talk about this course because we want to plug FitFixNow. Jane Curth, I'm Tom Matt. It's the Tom Matt Show. All right. Cruising.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Slide this bad boy over. I gotta do my read for Brock. And here we go. Fourth segment of the Tom Matt Show is sponsored by Brock Fletcher. He's a kingpin. Guy's awesome. I mean, selling team of Keller Williams Realty. The one word you want to think about with both of our segment sponsors, Craig and Brock: trust. We use them. You know that. I've said that. We've had them for several years now. The reason they're with us is because they do what they say they're going to do. Brock was our buyer and seller agent. You guys have heard that story a bunch of times. I've said it. I say it every show. Call Brock. A couple of numbers here, everybody. 517-853-6408. Okay. 6408. 517-303-3262. I'm going to say that again, because this is the super secret, not so super secret number to his pocket, his cell phone. 517-303-3262. Brock is one of the finest examples of somebody who does telecom voicemail changes daily. The guy is a complete pro. He'll tell you in his voicemail. If you leave him a voicemail, you're going to know when he's returning calls. You know when he's in meetings. You'll know what that day is entailing. You'll know when he's calling you back. You can do that, or you can text him. Either way works great. Okay. So just think about that with Brock at the selling team of Keller Williams Realty. Sell your home without hassles like we did. I mean, and and it was stressful. I mean, go back and listen, because both of our sponsors are subject matter experts, like a Jane Curth, subject matter experts that come in, and we have multiple shows with them. So there's different topics all over the place. So please go to the Reality of Real Estate, Financial Fitness. Jane will be in Nutrition and Fitness. That's how we do it on the website. We've got 12 different topic categories. Go find that. Then you can narrow it down, because we've got hundreds of them out there. I mean, we've been doing this a long time now. We started 13th season here in like a month. So it's just kind of crazy. So anyways, Brock Fletcher, selling team of Keller Williams Realty, investor, great guy, excellent company, connected all over the country. If you're moving out of state, getting transferred, he'll know somebody. Give him a call. Again, 2 numbers, 517-853-6408. His cell phone number is 517-303-3262. And his website is kwsellingteam.com. Don't forget, on our website, tommattshow.com, you go to the bottom of the page and click on their banners, and away you go there. All right, back to Jane. Jane Curth is with us. Jane, we started, we ended the last segment talking about one of your courses, because we're talking about this, comparing the big box gyms. We're talking about the healthier fitness and the progression of the fitness industry and science and all of these good things for people, so that you can do what you need to do and be cost effective about it. But you were talking about a course, because that's what you do. You offer all these courses. First, before we talk about the intuitive movement course, we've said this before, Jane, your FitFixNow is not just for trainers. Anybody can come in, and if they want to get some continuing education, they can buy your courses, right?
Absolutely. And when we created FitFixNow, we wanted it to be affordable, number one, convenient, and quality. Those were our 3 pillars that we wanted to build it on. And so we've kept prices low.
And they're very, very fair. That's, as I said earlier, I do my research, which I'll be doing again coming later in the fall, early winter this year, because every 2 years as a certified trainer, you have to get your,
I just completed mine.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, but okay, so let's talk about this intuitive movement course, because I like the whole theme of that. Why do people want to know about this? I mean, what is it that type of course and the instruction that they can find for anybody that's out there? Why would they want to even look into this?
I think it's probably what you were just mentioning about the young person you were talking to in the gym. They're like, oh man, I got this workout in. Why not do something you enjoy doing? And your body can kind of tell what it intuitively enjoys or feels. I wouldn't enjoy running around a basketball court, but for somebody else, they love it. They love it. So really getting in touch with what you and how your body enjoys movement, you're going to do it, and you're going to stick with it in the long term.
That's the thing. That's what I said in my video. Nuff fun, NUFFUN. Find something you like to do. If walking your dogs, doing the gardening, all of that counts. It's all cumulative. So excellent. What are some of the other courses that, say, a lay person might be interested in? They're progressing from the big box gym. They want to learn more about, but it's because of this information overload that we have on the internet. How do you know? See, that's the whole thing. That's where you're cool, Jane, is like, well, we can trust Jane because you've been around for a long time. You've taught this stuff. You learned this stuff. You were in higher ed forever. I love it. It's great. You got trainers all over the country, all over the place. Tell the listeners, I mean, if they're going from that step, what might be some other suggestions that you have leading into the boutique fitness kind of thing, where they might be able to say, hey, I kind of like this. Now you have an idea what you want to do. Now you can talk to Jane or Justin Grinnell or some of these other specialists, because that's what you guys are, right? You're specialists, and get more bang for your buck. So what would be some of those courses that you might suggest?
Well, we've got a lot of newer courses because I've just read a report today. That's why this is so interesting. We're talking about boutique fitness, and it talked about the future in boutique fitness, and what part of the future is going to bring is more wellness into the boutique gym. Like when they did this study, there were 32% that also wanted to include nutritional services, which, you know, that's kind of a no-brainer. But 20% wanted more recovery. And I think recovery is a very overlooked portion of fitness. So recovery was the next popular. Then meditation and breath work. And, you know, then it goes on into like the ice baths and the cryotherapy, massage, you know, that type of stuff. But the big three were nutrition, recovery, and meditation breath work.
So
And
interesting.
isn't that interesting? I just thought, okay, this is just really cool. And I'll send you this document later, Tom, and you can share it with your friend, especially because he has a boutique facility. And this is to really kind of help them know where the trends are going for for the people that want to come to a boutique facility. And this just reaffirms what we've been doing at FitFixNow. I just put out a new course that I personally did called Helping Busy Clients Live Their Best Life. Now, we've kind of done a busy people, busy clients thing here. We did with the registered dietitian, nutrition for busy people. And so I wanted to do more of a holistic look. So we look at not only how to help busy people you know, do better with fitness, but also how to do better with their emotional health, how to do better with their spiritual health, how we need a tribe, you know, that we need a tribe. And it's all kind of based on the blue zone communities, you know, which we've talked about before on your show, where people live a high quality of life into their 90s and 100s. And so I start out the course reviewing all about the blue zones and what their power nine um, things that they all kind of do. And so we're moving more in a wellness, all encompassing venue. So I'm excited to see that in that document. We also have a new course on mental fitness.
We
And that one is good for anybody. I actually did that course with one of our mentors with the Mentor Project, Tina Parker, who is amazing. Tina is amazing. And that course, I mean, I learned so much from her because I don't know a whole lot about the mindset.
right.
And, you know, you look at professional athletes, they have a team, they have nutritionists, they have
Oh
a
yeah.
psychologist. You know, so why not? Why shouldn't everybody put all of those elements as much as they can into their life? We can't
Right.
afford a chef and nutritionist and, you know,
Exactly.
psychologist.
And when we come back after we do the messages to our younger self, I want to finish the show with that because the specialized training that's going on for youth, I've been, I mean, I'm very immersed in all of that. And why not adults getting the more bang for their buck and really getting effective work in that you need because everybody's different. Jane Curth, Tom Matt, it's the Tom Matt Show. The money that's going into all of this youth stuff is mind-boggling. So it's just I tell you, Jane, it's crazy, but it's here. And I mean, that was the
The
whole,
youth stuff. What?
yeah, the youth, the softball, the baseball, the individual,
Oh,
the very specialized coaching,
yeah,
running
yeah,
coaches. I mean, everything is broke down into very specialized chunks and you got to pay for it all. And
yeah.
so, and it's just, so why wouldn't you see, I'm going to jump back in this. Hey, for your messages, Do you have anything? And I forgot to mention that to remind you because of all the stuff that's been going on. But this fifth segment, we just do that. I'll just throw it to you after you give your plug stuff for FitFixNow and your website and all your email stuff. Because I'm gonna throw that to you here just top of this segment. But what would be the one like message to your younger self? I know you've done this before, but what would be another message that you might want to share with young people that you're much more aware of now that you may have wanted to do when you were younger, but you just didn't know? Or there's new tech out there. Do you have something in mind that you could kind of come up with? I don't want to throw it to you. And would it be?
Well, now I use my Aura. I use my Aura ring. Do you?
Oh, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Technology. So we're going to talk about, how you have adapted with technology. So that's perfect. I mean, because then when we were younger, we didn't have that. So now advice to people now that is, I wish I had when I was younger, an Aura ring. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Where's mine? Okay. Here we go. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Stick around. We're going to do the messages segment here in just a second with our guest today, Jane Curth, calling today's episode Healthier Fitness. Jane, before we jump back into the messages and then the whole topic of the conversation today, it's been a really excellent. I mean, I wish I could have you for 2 hours and we could do this whole thing, easily do that. But how would you like people to connect with you? Take your time, all your speaking engagements, your traveling, FitFixNow, the website. Go right ahead, please.
Yeah, Tom, they can get in touch with me at jane@fitfixnow.com. The website is fitfixnow.com. And we have our phone number on the website if they want to go there. Can reach out through the website to me at info@fitfixnow.com. One thing we pride ourselves on is customer service, that we, Blake, my son, is in the business with me, and boy, we are on top of customer service. So if they want to reach out, we'll get back quickly to them.
Again, everybody, trust factor. I have taken these courses the last 2 or 3 research for me, last 6 years or so. And I love these courses. I look forward to booking out my time where I can take, because they're shorter, much shorter than the NASM model courses. They're great too, but I like your courses because I want to get snippets of a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with you guys. They're cost effective. They're not super long. You can drill down to find the specific. And as we said earlier, everybody, you don't have to be a fitness professional or a trainer to enroll in these courses. These courses are available for everybody. So go to FitFixNow, fitfixnow.com, and check it out. And Jane, just say, hey, Jane, we heard you on the radio show with Tom. It was great. Healthier Fitness. All right. So we're talking a little bit about, I brought up the, this youth coaching stuff, Jane. See with my kids, my grandkids, you're going to see it too with your grandkids, this specialized training. We're spending just ungodly amounts of money on this training for the youth. So why not take some of that kind of energy and put it into your boutique fitness, put it into your coursework, put it into helping yourself? Because I'm all about, as a parent and as a grandparent, we got to keep our saw sharp so we can help our young people. Because, hey, Jane, this, you're a grandmother. There's so much going on with these kids now.
Oh, I know.
They need us badly, don't they?
Yes. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So keeping our saw sharp, talking about this boutique fitness, the Blue Zone, you were talking about the Blue Zone communities. And if you're just joining us, everybody, Jane, would you kind of rehash that here in a second after we do your message? Because I want to kind of touch on that, make sure we close with that. But before we go there, everybody, the new favorite part of the show, the episode where we have just a quick takeaway from our guest on a message to her younger self. Jane Curth is our guest today. Jane, we've done this before. What's another message you'd like to leave for yourself or some young people that are out there that we didn't have access to, perhaps, and it's there now. Go right ahead, please.
Okay, well, even though I'm a baby boomer, I am really enthralled with technology. And my new favorite piece of technology is my Aura Ring. It's like this. This Aura, O-U-R-A, this Aura Ring will track my sleep, and it gives me a readiness score. And this is the problem. I have my Apple Watch, but you know, if you've got an Apple Watch, you get what Chris calls the rings of shame. That's your little rings on the and if you don't hit them, you feel shame. So he calls them the rings of shame. Well, they never change. If you've had a bad night's sleep, if you're running a low grade fever, I get body temperature from this. If you're running a low grade fever, you should not work out hard that day. If you worked out hard on Monday, you don't want to work out as hard. Recovery is such an important tool in our tool belt. So this Aura Ring helps keep us on track. Chris, Chris, he does things 125%. And there are days he needs to rest, and his app will tell him that. So I love it. Love it. If my younger self had it, I think I would have had less injuries. I would have slept better because, a lot of young people don't sleep well at all. And to
Right.
track it and not sleeping well affects your mental fitness. So
as a complimentary product, because I don't have an Apple Watch, it would make me crazy. I just got an iPhone, less
yeah,
than a year ago, but
yeah,
I can't, there's just no way that I could do the watch. But so it is, the Aura Ring is kind of a complimentary tool in your toolbox with the Apple.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
And there's a similar product called the Whoop, WHOOP, but it's also a band that you wear. And I don't like to sleep with a watch or something on my wrist. So that's why I got the ring. The Whoop band also now measures strain. So if you're doing weightlifting, it will measure that. So they're both great recovery rest products.
This is this is the whole thing is so fascinating to me, everybody. And I love sharing these new ideas. Part of why we do the radio program is because I continue to learn about all of this and share that knowledge with you, because it's coming. I mean, every 6 months, there's something new. So again, how do you know what you're getting or what you're thinking about spending money on? Because we've got this finite bucket of money. And so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you just spent $500 on a hitting courses for your 10-year-old or your 12-year-old or your high schooler or whatever. So you got to really watch your money. Again, FitFixNow is a good spot to start with some coursework, and the box gyms are fine, and they will give you the facility. The boutique, the boutique gyms like Justin's and the Blue Zone communities. I want to weave in, Jane, because the training at home is fine, but it's the social aspect of fitness, and you're a big group fitness person. You just talked about your
Yeah.
Pilates, that kind of stuff. But this group fitness, where it's a very small group, this is the trend of the future. Once you graduate from the box gyms, you're going to wind up in a situation where, or you want to be in a situation where you have small group fitness, like Jane was talking about.
Right.
Because Jane, finish the thought on that. The reason you want small group fitness is,
well, because you get, maybe you can't afford the one-on-one, but you can afford the small group. So that's number one for a lot of people. But even in that small group, like I said, in the Pilates class I take with the physical therapist, there are only 6 people in there. Her eyes are on us the whole time. Whereas if you've got 20 people in class, it's kind of hard to monitor what they're doing. And if you're one-on-one, you can monitor it, but a lot of people think they can't afford it.
and that may be true. My rates as a personal trainer, as a one-on-one personal trainer, are, I mean, for the Midwest, they're not cheap, and because
Right.
good trainer, but it's like that in other areas of the country, you may be spending a lot more. In Atlanta, okay, just for example, Jane, in Atlanta, for the one-on-one training for a very high-end personal trainer, what would people be, just guesstimation? What would be the hourly rate, you think?
I would think, because I know this from a friend of mine that has a trainer, she's paying $80 an hour.
Okay. That's actually very reasonable.
Yeah, yeah,
But you know, that can add up, because now you got to put that on top of your gym membership.
right.
And again, so so when you
It,
go into small group
y-
fitness, what's the
yeah,
cost on?
I get 4 classes for $80.
See, there you go. That's the difference between, and you have a maximum of 6 people in your course.
Yes, yes. You cannot, when you sign up, it'll show you how many slots are left. And if all 6 are taken, you can't sign up.
Yeah, and that's the other thing about the technology, and like what Justin's done at his gym is they're 24/7. They have cameras, they have remote entry. You can get in and with your membership card, your fob or whatever, scan yourself in. So it's there for you to use. And if you want to get into your group fitness thing, because that's what they offer a lot of group fitness, small group fitness, or one-on-one trainings. That's the thing where the industry is going. All right, Jane. So healthier fitness. We talked about the box gyms. We talked a little bit about the boutique, the club Pilates. I wanted to ask you about the future of the franchises. If people wanted to get into that, this is just a quick answer because we're going to run out of time here. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just curious as to, you know, what you think about that whole end of the business.
Um, I do think if you were interested in a franchise, I'd be real particular of which franchise. And I would also look at the investment going in and what you have to continue to pay. And is it going to be a worthwhile investment for you? Those are just my initial, because I did look at, just out of curiosity, Club Pilates franchises. It's very costly
It
and
can
they
be.
still want a percentage.
Oh, sure. And you know, so you get the model that's built for you. So just be careful. What I would
Yes.
do is hire Jane as a consultant and ask her, Jane, takeaway. Give me a 1-minute takeaway, please, for this episode. I appreciate you very much. Go ahead.
I think my 1 minute is to, you said it early on, Tom, live long and die short, the book you talked about. And part of that living long is live high quality. And that's why I'm so excited that fitness is starting to be all encompassing, that it's
Excellent.
looking at the total person.
If our show fits your business or group's mission, we want to be of service to you through our guest topics, issues. Sponsorships are available. Always remember, before you can share love with others, you must love yourself first. Always close the show with that. I want to thank Jane Curth for being with us. Jane, thank you so much. Great to see you. We'll talk soon. Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
My pleasure. Sandy, Craig, Brock. We'll talk to everybody next weekend. Have a great week, everybody. Go out and ignite your life. Remember, Tom Matt Show is produced by the legend, Mitch Anderson. Production of the Boomers Rock Media, LLC. We'll talk to you next week, everybody. Have a great week. We're out. Goes by really fast.
I know. I know. I'm like, wow, it's
Uh,
1:34. It's
so
like, whoa.
I'm going to turn that student on to you. And
Okay.
super nice young woman, very driven, and just, you never know. I mean, I just like encouraging young people to meet other good
Absolutely.
mentors to help.
Absolutely.
So again, her name is Anya.
Now,
Anya,
is she's in computer science?
the computer science kid. Yeah. So
Is
um,
does she plan on coming to Atlanta anytime soon?
you know, I don't know. I really
Okay.
I'm not quite sure on all that. I'm having lunch with her on Friday to kind of talk about, you know, stuff and my coaching and, you know, friendships and all that kind of stuff. So
Well, I have co-working space at Atlanta Tech Village, which is like the 4th largest technology hub. And also, if she's ever interested in Georgia Tech, my middle son just got invited to be on the board for the School of Sciences.
wow.
So, yeah.
So you're very
So
connected with all that.
I'm
Yeah.
very connected with Georgia Tech.
We'll be probably sharing all this with her at our lunch on Friday, and you know, just want to make you aware. So we'll take it from there and see what happens. So
Yeah.
Oh, you're always cool with helping young people, these young women.
Oh
And
gosh, I love it. In fact, I have done some consulting with Georgia State University the past 2 semesters on their mentoring program.
okay. Okay.
So
Well, just be,
that's been
I don't know
good.
what her schedule's like or how that is going. It just kind of came up with
Yeah.
Justin, and she was very interested in pursuing just this very, very active gym person. I mean, this kid is something else. I mean, just get, the kids when they put their heads down. It doesn't even have to be kids. It can be, I mean, like me, like when I'm on my big days, I don't even know you're around. I mean, I am
Yeah.
into my
You're in the zone.
zone, and I don't even, and it's no offense, but it's just like, you were there? Oh, really? I had no idea, because seriously, got the tunes blasting and I'm just getting, just smoking it. So
Yeah.
that's the way we roll. Don't get hurt. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Don't,
Yes.
don't get hurt. I'm glad you're feeling better. So
Oh, I am.
thank you for being my comeback show after dad's
Oh, thank
so it's
you
all good.
for
I need to
having me.
tell you, I
Sometimes you need normal, I think, when things have been chaotic and traumatic.
I told Sandy yesterday, because we've been going back and forth to Detroit. We were there
Yeah.
5 days in a row last week. We were there
Oh,
yesterday. We'll go back down tomorrow again. It's an hour and a half drive to, and so it's like I just told her on the way back. I said, I'm just so glad I'm doing radio with Jane tomorrow,
oh.
because it's just like I need to get my shit straight here, because it's just like, life.
It's getting a little bit of normalcy back
Oh
where
yeah,
it hasn't been normal.
I mean, radio is my thing. I love doing the radio.
Yeah.
I love doing the video stuff too. I don't know if you've been following. Are you on TikTok? Did you get on TikTok yet?
I have an account, but I don't really go on
Yeah,
it much. I
yeah,
sometimes I'll see your stuff on either
yeah.
Instagram or
Same stuff. It's
Facebook. Yeah.
yeah, the same post.
I
But
like it. I saw
oh, thank
the one about your dad, and that was
uh,
very moving, Tom.
thank you. Thank you.
Very moving. I loved it. Love,
Thank
love,
you.
love your I love Brene Brown. I don't know if you know her, that
Oh yeah, I know.
um ok but she talks about being vulnerable
Oh yeah.
and the courage it takes to be vulnerable, but how meaningful it is. So, thank you
Yeah.
for being
Uh,
vulnerable. It
no, it's just being real. I don't know any other way. I'm not an actor.
I know. Yeah, but so many men, I think, especially, I'm not trying to be gender, but I think they have to be the tough guy, and they have to be the one that,
Yeah.
never let them see me sweat or cry,
Yeah.
and that's awful.
Well, it's conditioning, and it's just cultural, and it's just one of those things where you've got to own your own feelings, and going into therapy for me saved my life. I've said that many times.
Yep. Yep.
Tomorrow's my 25th anniversary of my alcohol-free life. So
Yay!
here's tomorrow. So it's like I got videos all staged and ready to go.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I interviewed one of my friends. It was a video interview, because I had helped him with his daughter. She
yeah.
was Seattle, and he was struggling, and I really didn't know. This is several years ago, but then we ran into him, and so I asked him. I said, "Hey, Kevin, would you mind us getting together and you talk about your daughter Bethany, and her journey? She's been sober 2 years." Because I'm at this point now, Jane, and I say this in my videos. It's like, I got this. I've been
Yeah.
25 years. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the warriors who are one day in, 3
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
3 weeks, 3 months in, and she's 2 years in. So it's still very fresh. And it's like
Yeah.
struggling with all of the things post being alcohol free. Where do I go? How do I hang out? Am I going to be okay?
Yeah.
Do I do this? If I go to this party, am I going to feel okay? You have all of these, you have all those doubts in your head, and
Yeah.
it's rough. I mean,
Well, and Chris is really struggling. Well, he's doing better, because we have a great counselor, but his son, is an alcoholic. And back in, I guess it was May, he was hospitalized with severe cirrhosis.
oh
And he's
no.
37, and he's back drinking again. And it's awful. It's just
Well,
tragic.
say, yeah, it's very, very, it's just so challenging. And it's just like, we just got to just, I've lost several people that, just could
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
not get over for whatever reason. And I've just I'm sorry for the language, but I count my fucking blessings every day.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So the mental health stuff, again, that's why Debbie's on the show so much, and you're on the show, and we just do good things. Just put more good in.
Yeah,
And I'm sorry to hear that about Chris's son, and
yeah,
he's not alone. And so,
yeah. And
never
now when y'all come through Atlanta on your way to Athens, I want y'all to spend the night 1 or 2 nights with us,
plan on it. So we're
okay?
actually other direction. We're going to be coming from Athens because we're going to my sister.
Oh,
My sister's in North Carolina, so we're going to get
okay.
roundabout kind of trek. That's kind of the plan at the moment. Then we're
Yeah,
going to go to Athens and see Alyssa, another one that she's
yeah,
just great. She's in her third year of her PhD. Talk to her all the time. She's had many things. She was just on talking about the many things that she's been going through.
yeah,
Just life is challenging, but it's so awesome to get through the challenges. I mean, that's
yeah,
challenging. That's the thing with my dad. It's like, well, it builds resiliency. Yeah, you got to go through this. It's
right.
part of the deal. It's part of the freaking deal. So
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. Live long, die short, baby. It's just like, okay. But I'll tell you what, looking at him at his age and his absolutely horrendous diet, and he wasn't overweight. He
yeah, yeah,
was
just didn't eat.
always a big guy. He just ate terrible. I mean,
Yeah,
he didn't feed. And then that's what happened towards the end of his life as things, because with the muscle loss, even though he was going to the gym and doing his thing, you're still going to have that. You're going to lose muscle mass
yeah,
if you don't stay on your game very, very religiously. I mean, it's
yeah,
like, it's part of my job. Part of my job
yeah,
is that's how I look at it, Jane.
yeah,
It's part of your job.
yeah,
Part of Chris's job is to keep your saw sharp
yeah,
and to work in, because that's part of the deal. And so, because you never know. I mean, better odds. That's what one of my early on guests, Dr. George Bartzokas. He was a neurologist, neuroscientist at UCLA, and he passed. This has been a while now, but he passed. He had pancreatic cancer, and he was gone in his
oh,
early 50s. And it was like lightning bolt out of nowhere. So, but he just said, he was the one who taught me better odds. Tom, you just got to do everything you can have to have better
yeah,
odds. That's
yeah,
it. Right. All right. Love you.
yeah.
You're greatness. All
Love
right.
you too, and give Sandy a hug for me.
Oh, yes. Oh, I will. She said she definitely wanted me to make sure I said hello to you. I knew I would for
Yeah,
her.
yeah, and know
Just
that
for
you're continue to be in our thoughts and prayers.
I appreciate that. And
Yeah,
so that's kind of the plan for the trip will be North
trip.
Carolina
Yep.
into Atlanta and then down. So we're just going to putz along, and then coming back, we're going to go see my bro over in Alabama. So we like driving. We got this sweet vehicle, and it's like,
Yeah,
great. We drove to Arizona, and it was like, we're Arizona was cool. It was good to see. It
yeah,
was nice to go back to the desert Southwest, but Arizona in February is still a little cool, and I want warmth. I want
yeah,
heat.
yeah.
So
I
feel good
understand.
just to pop down. We got a house that we rented. Um, we'll see how it turns out. Maybe you want to jump down there it's just north of Fort Myers. So it's right back where we
Yeah, well, a friend of ours, has a condo at, Naples,
oh yeah, Naples
and
is
they want us to come down in February sometime, so it might be, oh, we can do
that's
both.
because we're not far. We're just north of Fort Myers, and Naples is just south of Fort Myers. So
Yeah,
we could definitely do that. So, just keep that in mind. We can talk about that when
yeah,
we come.
yeah, oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
So
But, keep me posted on how y'all are doing.
I certainly will. Absolutely. No question. All right. Thank you, Jane.
Okay. Bye, Tom.
I talk too much about this. Yeah. Dad and all that stuff, it's like, but Jane was a perfect guest for me to have as my recovery show. It's part of the deal, everybody. It's part of the deal. So it's nice that we had 2 fitness shows in a row, kind of, my love, and hopefully it inspires you to do more. But FitFixNow is awesome. And Jane Curth is just such dynamite. I mean, so great. So please check it out. Check out her courses. Take her advice, my advice, whatever. Live through the story. Thank you guys so much. Love you all. Thank you for listening, watching, doing whatever. Subscribe. Check us out. Go to the TikTok thing. Go to Instagram. Go to Facebook, where I put all those little short messages in the morning. My morning affirmations daily. And I'm on it, man. I'm doing it every day. All right. Talk to you soon. Peace out, everybody. Love you.